Gary, let's first touch on last weekend's win in the first round of the FA Cup as we made the trip to Halifax. Just remind us what your feelings are after that result.
Yeah, I was really happy. Obviously, a cup tie, the most important thing is winning, getting through to the next round. But I thought the way we approached the game, how professional the players were, how dominant we were in the game, I thought it was a really difficult game before in terms of where they are in the league. They've been 8 unbeaten at home. I knew the environment would be challenging, but I thought the players handled everything really well. And I must say, I thought Halifax were excellent on the day. I thought they were much better than they'd played the week previously against York, and they played with real bravery. They gave us a lot of problems on transition. They caused us problems, and I'm sure they will be, a team that causes a lot of upsets and has a really good season in the National League. But for us, really professional job and delighted to get through.
That made it 3 wins in a row in as many different tournaments. So you and the team must be pleased to see the hard work and the performances starting to pay off. Yeah,
really happy. I think it's been coming for a number of weeks and months. It's not something that's just clicked. I think the work we've done since pre-season on the training pitch with the players is starting to come together. And the big thing for me was after Plymouth that we didn't rest on that, and we used that as a springboard to do better and do more. Another pleasing aspect is how many players we've used in the 3 games. We've pretty much used every player in the squad, has played minutes and contributed to victories. So the group is in a really good place. There's real harmony within the group, and there's real competition for places in the group, and that's a really good place to be.
The cup draw for the second round was on Monday, and we've been drawn at home to Wycombe. So what are your kind of early thoughts going into this game?
Yeah, I think a home tie is all you can really ask for. Who you get after that is obviously the luck of the draw, as they say. I think when you get a team in your league, it's probably not the ideal draw for supporters, and probably not for both teams, because we already play each other twice. But it's going to be a really difficult game. We know from obviously the game we played earlier in the season how difficult it was, even though we came out on top. It was a really tough match. They've changed managers since then, so it'll be a different team and a different way of playing when that game comes around. But the fact we're at home, the fact we have SGP and the crowd behind us, gives me real hope that we can win that game.
I suppose you must also be pleased we're at home, not only because of the home support, but also to avoid another long journey like we had to Halifax. What's the biggest benefit of not having to make the long journey and being able to play at SJP?
Yeah, that is a massive factor. We had another, I think it was 7.5 hours, and I know supporters were similar. Some of their travels were affected heavily on the Friday. And as much as what the supporters do is magnificent, I think the players, to go on a bus that length of time, to then have to recover when you get to the hotel, and to then sleep and eat the right things and do all the right things, to then play as well as they did on the Saturday, they deserve so much credit for that. That is by no means an easy thing to do, and obviously then travel home. But the players deserve a lot of credit for that. It's something they're used to, and something that we obviously do every second week. But it's not easy to do, and it was another fantastic performance after an incredibly long journey. So to get a home tie, really pleasing that we don't have to face that when the FA Cup comes back around.
Looking at those 3 wins in a row since that Argyle game that started this winning run, we've spoken a lot about momentum. So just kind of remind us how important momentum is from the players' point of view, but also from a managerial point of view.
Yeah, momentum's important because you build confidence, you build belief in what you're doing, but it comes from consistent daily standards and behaviours that the players have been producing for a number of weeks and months, like I said. And when those results come, they just give you confidence that allows you to keep doing that and keep winning more games. So we know how difficult it is to win games in League One, and we know that we've got another tough one on Saturday, but we're going in a really good place. There's real competition in the squad. There's a real belief in the squad that we can keep this run going, but we know that we have to be at our very best if we want to do that.
Looking ahead to this weekend, we return to league action at SJP, this time hosting Wigan. What can we expect them to bring to the game?
I think they're in with a number of different clubs who've probably not had the start to the season that they would have wanted. I think the league this year is incredibly competitive from top to bottom. and there is a real tight group in that middle pack where we are, where Wigan are. So we know that in the next 5 or 6 games, how big these games are going to be in terms of where that puts you in the league table, and what type of momentum you can build going into the Christmas and the New Year. So they're big games. They're a team that's really hard to beat. I think they have a manager who's really experienced now, managed in different leagues, different clubs. So we'll know how to win games. They'll be very hard to beat. And it's important we continue our form and continue what we've done in the last 3 games and take that into the game right from the very start.
You played for Wigan when they won the FA Cup in 2013. You also managed them when they won the League One title. What's it like setting up against a former team that you've had quite a lot of success at?
Yeah, it's a bit different. It's a club that I was at for the longest period of my career, obviously as a player, and then went into coaching and then managing there. So I spent a large part of my life there. My 2 youngest kids were born in the period I was at Wigan. Even though I stayed outside Wigan, it was a kind of large part of my life for a long period of time. The success we had, not just staying in the Premier League, but then winning the FA Cup and then obviously winning League One as manager. 10 years ago, that'll be next summer, so that shows you time has passed and flown very quickly since then, but I still have a great affection for the football club, but now all my kind of energy and effort is into winning games of football for Exeter. So to focus yourself and to be prepared for that is very easy. It's a job where you get attached to a club very quickly, and I feel very attached to Exeter, having been here just over 3 years now, and all my energy is into going into beating my old club on Saturday.
You mentioned the squad earlier, how we've managed to kind of spread out the games between the wider squad. Looking at the entire squad, what's the latest on the injury and fitness front?
Yeah, John Lee has trained fully this week, which is great to see. There's no fresh injuries from Halifax, which is also really positive. We've had, touch wood, we've had very few injuries this month, which has been really good. And coming back on the grass, we've had Sonny Cox, Jake Hayes, Ryan Rydell out running this week with the physios, which is great to see. And then Pedro Borges is another young player who's had a really tough time with injury, with the 2 surgeries he's had. He's been on the grass as well. And like I said, that's always positive when you can see those players, as we are training, those players are running around the pitch or at the side of the pitch. And Carlos Mendes Gomez is coming back today, should be travelling as we speak, and we'll see him tomorrow, and he'll step up his rehab next week, which is really positive as well. So on an injury front, we're in quite a good place, but we know that can change really quickly, and it's important all the players keep working hard to get back as quick as possible.
This last week has been the EFL Week of Action, and you and some of the players have attended schools, prisons, community trust events. Just remind us how important community is, not just in Exeter but in the wider footballing environment.
Yeah, look, I think football, is so important, not just for, winning games and success and everything it brings, but for me, football brings towns, cities, communities together. It is an amazing thing that on a Saturday, the whole city can come together and be a part of something special, and it is really important in so many people's lives. Not just me, the staff, the players, the board, the people involved at the club, yourselves, but the wider community and the supporters who come every single week. It's very important that we are there for them and provide a large part of the joy in their life. And when we go out in the community at different events, out with, obviously SGP for me is a special place where we see them on a match day, but when we can get out to different community events, whether it be a prison or a school, and see those people in kind of their environment, I think it's really important and powerful what our players can do and what our players can give our community. So whatever we do, as much as we can do, the players are always there to do that, and I think they're fantastic at giving their time to do that, and it's a really important part of what makes Exeter City a special football club.
You're currently modelling one of the shirts that you and the players will be wearing during the warm-up on Saturday. After the game, they're going to be auctioned off to the Royal British Legion to raise some important funds. I'm sure it's a great cause that I'm sure you and the players will be getting behind?
It's the first time I've been called a model, so I'll take that. Yeah, look, it's, for me, it's a special weekend in the football calendar. Whether we're at, you know, our home weekend this weekend, but I'm sure other clubs will do it at different times. And I think it's amazing that football comes together to remember the people who lost their lives in so many wars, and the fact that, you know, we still have the poppy and still have that tradition, I think is a really special thing. So hopefully we can put on a great day. The t-shirts are going to be worn by me, by the players, and then we'll auction them off later to try and raise some money. But yeah, I always think it's a really kind of poignant moment before the game when we have that tribute, and it's one of those kind of English special occasions in the English football calendar that you can remember, like I said, people who done everything for us.
Thank you, Gary.